Hey everyone, welcome back to Subspace Apps. This is week September 13th, 2022. Let's get started. All right. Last week we had a work trial candidate to kind of join us and help us get some telemetry fixes in. So I'll just go over what we've done. One of them was creating a simplified telemetry front-end branch. This is to help kind of make our front-end more performant, as we expect a lot of nodes to come online for telemetry. Um, We also made the node count more visible in the UI, so on the telemetry, so you can see that now. Additionally, we had some PRs to kind of remove and improve our sorting functionality. So that's great. Additionally, we have now upgraded the desktop app for stress test or to Gemini 2A. For this one, so what's happening is the desktop app, we're going through a security audit right now, and in order to simplify everything, we decided to update to Gemini 2A, which is in this pull request that Ozgun was kind enough to upgrade. We've also added an npm script to generate docs as well. So do you want to talk about how we revise the sorting nodes?
I think we covered it last time.
Okay, cool. Oh, maybe I didn't clear this out from last time. I think most of these we really did right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Then we are done with that. Why don't we go into in progress then? Update map. I think that's
Yeah,
just waiting for.
so
Go ahead.
I submitted PR with the initial implementation. Yeah, I can show you a little demo as well. So basically, we have grouping of nodes by cities, and now dots are represent cities, and the bigger the dot, the more nodes it has. And instead of individual node details on hover, we show uh, city name and count of nodes.
Okay. Do you want to take over the presentation and show a demo?
Uh, yeah, 1 second. Okay, I assume you can see my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here is our telemetry. We go to the map, and this is how these locations look like. So yeah, the bigger dots, they have more nodes, and the smallest size is only one node. Uh, yeah, that's all. Let me know if you have any comments in terms of UI. Maybe we should make these nodes like bigger or provide more details.
Yeah. I'll take a look at the PR. I know you just opened it, but yeah, this is great. Thanks for showing that. The next one is make space pledge visible on UI. That's also you search.
Yeah, I also submitted PR. So current implementation should work for Gemini too, but if we want to show Space Pledge for other networks, uh, it will require additional stuff to be implemented, and I need a little bit more time for that. But it should be good enough for Friday, for our deadline for Gemini 2.
All
Yeah,
right.
if you open PR, I didn't record demo because it's relatively simple in terms of UI. If you show PR, yeah, there is a screenshot. So we added a component in the header which shows space pledged.
Awesome. Nice work. All right. Let's start. Let's go into the inbox. This should be in progress, right, Ivan? Let's make this here.
Uh, yeah, it's kind of in progress, but yeah, I just feel like that the ticket should be modified, I guess. The thing is that, yeah, we can't just basically configure the telemetry itself, not to reduce the data. It's not about the configuration, I guess. It's more about the optimization. Yeah. I guess we can put the Notion link here. Yeah, let me just send it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You want to give me any updates on where we're at with this? Like a brief summary of the.
Yeah. Let me just share the screen. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so here it is. So this is the summation of like all the points which I got from the looking at the sources. So like we can take like different optimization directions. So basically, like one of those can be the optimizing the amount of the data sent by the telemetry server to the WebSocket clients. So we are basically restricted physically by the amount of data which we can send. I suggested just to enable some skipping of the data of nodes, like for now at least. Like all the data for like each WebSocket connection will be queued, and so but basically would force the telemetry server to send the old data, even though there is a new one available. So this is one of the ideas. Another one was that the in our optimization direction is the data stored in memory. So we're restricted by the like amount of RAM basically on the server. Basically we can just decrease the amount of like MISC data which a node which different nodes has. So basically, yeah, here's the different like options which we have here, like for the each of the node. Yeah, apart from that, there's some skipped ones, I believe, like the branching system or something. So yeah, different things can be omitted and skipped, and lots of the basically bandwidth like RAM, it can all be saved. Yeah, and we can just optimize it by that. Yeah, apart from that, yeah, the data processing is kind of hard for the telemetry node, as we are hitting the limit of the amount of the we're basically hitting the limit of the CPU power which we can have in single on a single server. As Nazar pointed out, like we have the largest like machine on DO. So and we just can't physically increase the amount of the CPU power we have, and the serialization can take like a huge amount of time. So yeah, I also basically had an idea that maybe we could like maybe in future split the service. I believe the telemetry service into the into two microservers, I believe. Yeah, one of which can solely handle the WebSocket connections, and like one which would solely which would do the serialization and like gathering all the nodes. Yeah, and basically, yeah, and basically there can be many of those. Yeah, which can send all the data to the single node, which can handle all of the WebSocket connections. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Like for this page, yeah. If you have any questions, yeah, we can discuss that.
Yeah, I mean, I think this all sounds good. I definitely probably agree with if we can reduce the amount of data that we're processing, that would be good. So going back to that list, I think if we can limit how much data we have, that would be a good first start. But yeah, I think we just need to start moving towards this and getting it done. So I think this all sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great then. Yeah, just to tell you my status, I'm right now I'm benchmarking the like locally the telemetry service. Yeah, I believe I found the exact benchmark which we need. Like we can basically configure like two variables, one of which will be the amount of nodes, yeah, which we have like which are pushing data, and the amount of the WebSocket clients from the browser which are pulling data. We can adjust those, yeah, and benchmark how many like CPU power we need. Yeah, at least that we yeah, or we can test. Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's check in with this asynchronously for the rest of the week, but we need to get something out like by Friday so that we can be ready for this. Okay.
I have a quick question. So are we going to limit the amount of nodes, or we are still like showing everything?
I think we should probably go back to reducing the amount of nodes because we're expecting some decent amount of traffic coming in. So I think whatever approach we can, we should probably do that. So I can open up another ticket again to do the node reduction on the front end. Is that what you're asking about? Or are you talking about the back end?
So, I mean, if we're reducing the amount of nodes, what would be the criteria?
For the front end?
Yes.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. We should. I think what we said 1300 last time, but we should probably we need a higher number than that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my question. I don't know.
Okay, let's figure this out. How about this? We should try to like bring that number up, but I think based on the last conversation we had when we did the front end fixes, we said 1300 was the kind of the soft number that we were using before it starts, the front end starts degrading, correct?
Yeah.
Really what we just need to do is that we need to ensure that the telemetry numbers are showing on top so we can see the total count of nodes and all the other stats. I think the list itself, we could probably, at this current point, the list itself is just a nice to have. We just really need to keep it online.
Yeah, but people will probably search for their nodes, right? And if we are not showing them in the list, people will be disappointed.
I agree.
Okay. I think what we should do is, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought like ideal workflow from the user perspective would be like you type your node name and you can track only nodes that you added to favorites, you know, like you
Sure.
select particular nodes, like up to 10 or maybe more, and you only receive data for these like selected nodes, and everything else is just aggregated data. But I don't know if it's, probably we won't be able to implement all these by Friday, but
I totally agree that that's a nice use case, and having used before, like that's pretty important. Like I want to search my own node too, but if we show all the nodes and then the front end degrades for everybody, then nobody can see it. So I think we have to like kind of we have to choose like some path where everyone can get access. Otherwise, if we try to show everyone's nodes and the front end starts degrading, then nobody can see it. And I think it's going to get a lot of inbound support tickets from us, like on Discord and everything, and that's going to be even harder for us to solve. So I think the best option right now is let Ivan to continue focusing on the back end. Let's see how that works, but we should have a PR prepared to limit that front end. So I think the two approaches are either we limit it now and you can provide some kind of notification that says that we've limited the amount of nodes available on the UI for whatever reason. Or B, we leave that functionality in now and have a PR prepared to deploy that if things start degrading. What do you guys think?
I think like basically I think that yeah, on the one hand, like it will be hard, like it will be definitely harder than like removing like some missed data from the telemetry. It will be harder to implement like finding the exact nodes from the telemetry backend. Yeah, but it's kind of possible to do that until Friday. Yeah. So.
Sorry, not to interrupt you, but how about this? Why don't we see? Is there a way you can get your data your changes in earlier than Friday, and then maybe we can all like take a look at it and see how the front end works with that, and kind of try to simulate the performance of the front end. I think we have that, then we're gonna have a better answer on this. But I think just for safe measure, we should probably have a PR ready to limit node the list view pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, yeah.
How do you feel about that, Serge, Ozgen, Justin?
I'm afraid that people are using telemetry to verify that their node is up and running, and if we cannot like show their node, that's like risky situation.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Pretty regularly, we see people from like a support perspective use the telemetry as like, oh, yep, it looks like it's up and it says it's synced on telemetry. So that's kind of their second verification. But
Sure.
maybe that's something we can approach from like an educational perspective for users.
Yeah, I think we should have a backup for that, because my fear is that if we do enable that and telemetry starts going down, then nobody can see even the UI, right? Because we want to be able to see the total nodes coming online. And I think that's the aggregate summary is kind of the critical piece for telemetry right now. So I totally get it. Like I would want to see the nodes, but I would want to make sure that aggregate summary is still available.
Go ahead.
Yes, yes. So, sorry, yeah. I just thought about like having two telemetries, one of which would be like just showing the single like nodes count, right, which would matter a lot for the Gemini 2A, right? Another thing would have try having the telemetry where we could verify the node if it's present, yeah, but which could fail, like as the but still having the both of those as a fallback. I believe like if we I believe we can supply like both like two telemetries at the same time through the chain spec, right?
My only concern with that is that even if we did set up two telemetry servers, one that's focused on showing the aggregate summary and another showing the list view, if the list view still goes down, we run back into the same problem again. And then the community that's using that, it's going to be like, hey, I'm not able to see my node. It's going down. Like, it doesn't really, it solves the summary situation, I agree, but it doesn't solve the whole workflow angle.
But at least it would buy. Sorry, yeah, it will buy us some time, no?
Okay, I mean, I'm not against the idea. I'm open to it, but this is just like my 2 cents on that.
I think users can verify that their node is up and running. If they're using Polkadot apps, they can check balance, right, on the Polkadot apps UI. So in the worst case scenario, we can remove a list of nodes and put some placeholder with a link to Polkadot apps and some message like, hey, you can, sorry, like we cannot show your node at the moment because there are too many, and you can go to Polkadot apps and check if there is like some tokens in your balance, then you're good.
By the way, can you just pinpoint exactly like the link with the like exact RPC and maybe even like with exact like extrinsic or like state view for the Polkadot apps for that? Search.
Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, sure, yeah. I mean, can we can we not put just the instruction itself, but rather like put the link for the checking the balance for the reward address, like the point to the exact like state viewer in the Polkadot apps for that?
Let me check. You mean like embedded on telemetry or just a link?
Embedded would be better, right? But yeah, I just meant the link.
Yeah, I need to double check that. I think there is a page like accounts or something, and it shows accounts with balances. So you don't need to query state or do anything extra.
What was the problem with Surt's proposition, like showing maybe up to 10 nodes, which will be entered by the user, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 10, and then on top, we will only show the aggregated summary. I think that was a good solution.
Yeah, but it requires implementation.
I see. So probably in the long run, it will be the solution.
Probably.
Okay.
Okay, so it sounds like we should follow up on this with a little bit more research. Okay, so for now, how about let's sync up maybe Ivan, maybe we can sync up again tomorrow and we can all figure this out and try to get this going. Serge, your comment about adding a graceful degradation screen for list view to redirect to Polkadot apps, does that sound like a fair solution to everyone?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not great. I get it, but it's yeah. We need to keep this thing as alive as much as possible. So if I think this is a nice approach, like per Justin's comment too, right? If we can educate the community where they can find the information on how to see their online, I think that's really more important. How do we get them into a workflow that's going to support them as we have better long-term fixes for this? Cool. All right. Can I give this to you, Serge?
Yeah, sure. What about Subscan? Is it ready for this? Maybe we can also provide a link to Subscan.
Yeah, so we're waiting on them. They're still making some UI changes that we are suggesting. They got back to us yesterday. So hopefully soon. They have received it. They responded. They were on holiday, I think, earlier this week. So we'll see how that goes. But hopefully it should be done pretty soon.
Yeah, because I think their UI, like Block Explorer UI, should be more intuitive for most users than Polkadot apps.
Right. So yeah, let me get back to you once they give us more updates on it. So I think there's a few changes that we want for the UI, but otherwise, if you guys saw, like, there's a testing environment that's out, you guys can play around with. But yeah, I'll get back to you guys offline for an ETA on that. Okay. Any other comments on this? Let's queue up some time tomorrow if we can. Is that enough time to move forward?
Yeah,
I'll just set up some time for us. Okay. Cool. This one, export node data. This came from Way, so I actually think it's a nice idea, but we can probably tackle this after this week. It's more important to keep telemetry alive, but this idea is just to like export a node list data so that we can have a good like breakdown for the data for like marketing and so on and so forth. But we could also probably get this from maybe the Block Explorer, so we'll figure that out. The last two items on the list, Ivan and Ozgun, we're talking about this later with Jeremiah. It's going to be the SDK and CLI. So this is what we were talking about Friday, but we can talk about that more later today. But essentially breaking down about our steps forward about how to get this project started. And cool. And in case I forget.
Sorry, what about unique reward address? I believe that's
yes.
for me.
Sorry. Yes, that is for you. Yeah, so we want to expose. We want to expose unique reward address accounts on the header if possible. So this might be something we could probably pull from the Block Explorer as well. But yeah, do you have any thoughts on this?
So like another header tile.
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
I know it's getting kind of packed up there.
Big, yeah.
We should, yeah. Let's figure that out. Here, let's open this.
It's okay if we remove the node list. We need to show something. So the bigger the header, the better.
Yeah. The header just keeps growing and growing larger. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Let's figure that out. I think we should be able to cram that in, but yeah. but that would be nice to have. I think it. So in terms of priority, of course, let's keep telemetry alive. I'm gonna move this up actually because I think this should be a quicker fix. But if we can get all of these in, I think we're going to be in a good spot. And then the next week we can start thinking about long-term solutions. Cool. All right, done column is cleared. Great work, everyone. I'll clean up the block section at some point, but for now we can leave it there. And of course, backlog as we're going through audit. This is, we'll get to this later. Oh, okay. Cool. I think that's it on my end. And as we were mentioning earlier, Subscan, it has already released a testing environment. So hopefully we can see some results very soon once they make the UI changes. Other updates are, all the product engineering stuff that we've been talking about. We're now in a Teamspace home. So you guys can take a look here. I'm still in the process of organizing it, but hopefully we can better manage our Notion docs and then go forward from there. Okay.
That's a StarCraft cat.
Yes. Thank you again for recognizing that. I'm glad someone noticed that. So yeah, this is going to be our home space. I'm going to do some more cleaning. You guys are also welcome to add stuff as well. The telemetry stuff's here, and then the rest of the docs will be here for us. Excellent. I think those are all the large pieces for me. And is there anything else you guys want to discuss about? Okay, cool. Well, then thanks for joining us today on Subspace Apps, and I'll see you all next week.
Thanks, everybody.